What's good, my loves? It's me, Indica, and today we're going to be talking about changes, the current energy. I'm not sure if anybody else is feeling this, but for me, I have been experiencing a lot of change very recently. A lot of change, which is transformative change, but I'm not used to this change. So this change to me can be very scary, very like can feel very confusing at times because I want to approach all these new experiences with the best of me, but because they are new experiences and I've never experienced every single situation exactly the same as the other, it brings in a new perspective. It brings out different versions of myself, and sometimes I don't like those versions, and the truth can hurt, you know. I've had these thoughts already that I've known about myself, and throughout this whole process, throughout this whole change that I'm going through, they've become more clear that I do need to work on these things, and I have been, but I need to make more of a forward movement towards them because they aren't making me feel good. One of the changes would have to be I try to one of the changes would have to be being more patient with myself. Like actually applying that into my life. And when things get rough, to not come full throttle on myself and just be like, oh, you're fucking up, you know. And I don't do that all the time, but I do have a tendency to look at the wrong in a situation, even though I'm very optimistic. This really depends on the situation and what I've experienced, right? So for me, because I am open more to talking about my life and my past, it is triggering me, but it feels good at the same time. I'm also learning that I can do that, and there are people that will not judge me and will listen to me and keep what I've said to them to themselves. And then there are also other people, and I've known this, that will say what I've said to them to other people just because they want to talk. And it may not be like a bad thing that they're talking about, but at the same time, I've come to those people and I've confided in those people about my feelings. And when they talk about them to other people and I have no idea who these people are, it does not feel good. It doesn't feel the best, you know. Especially when you aren't used to opening up to people in that way anymore. I've been feeling very conflicted inside. Like, I can't hear my thoughts. I can't hear myself. Or like, I approach things in a way where I know that's not the way to do it, but I will do it because I'm so all over the place at times. And I try to tell myself that I'm not, that it's just a new energy that I'm experiencing, and it's going to be hard at first, but doesn't mean it's impossible. And even though right now it's been a little more hard to kind of keep my cool and my patience, I can still do it, and I've been doing it, you know, like, but I do slip up at times, like anybody does. When you're getting used to a pattern, it can be hard, or a habit, it can be hard to stay consistent, but it's not impossible. It is very possible to. It's just taking that step back and reflecting, being quiet, observing before speaking. You don't always have to say something in a conversation. And I've also noticed that my words have been I've been tripping up on my words a lot when it comes to talking. And right now, me being vulnerable, I don't like it right now. I don't. Me saying this right now, I don't like it. But I do. I do and I don't, because I feel like I could say it so much better than I have before. But in it, I'm still moving forward because I understand the process of things. For me, when I feel that I need more alone time because I feel so much. That's me personally. I'm an empath. I feel I have gifts. I can hear people, okay? And if you can too, you probably feel the same way, and maybe you don't. I need more alone time than usual, than maybe somebody else would. I love to hang out with people. I love to be around people, but not for long periods of time, because I can feel others' energy so deeply, and I'm in a time where I'm trying my best to balance everything out. I want to create a balance where I can be with friends and not feel overwhelmed. And you know, for me, I believe my time limit will always be like up to, well, it depends on the individual, but 3 hours tops with somebody that is a friend. And for other people, I can stay a little longer. But it's all about finding out what your boundaries are with those people. You know what I mean? And just because you can spend a certain amount of time with another person doesn't mean the other person is any less than. You know what I mean? It's just energies are different, and you may gravitate towards whatever part of them more than the other, and that's nothing wrong with that. That's just your preference. For me, I take on the other person. I feel so deeply that I take on the other person, and then my emotions can be confused sometimes because I'm feeling their emotions, and I'm like, what the fuck? So managing that and working with people every day has been a very interesting experience. It's definitely knocked me around a couple times like a ping pong. But the clear answer to everything is love. So love, calm, collectedness when it comes to situations. That has always been clear, but to act it out sometimes it can be very hard depending on the situation. And I've noticed that working in what I'm working with, my field, I'm working with different people every single day. Different personalities, people that I would usually never talk to if I wasn't working, right? To me, this job that I have is a reminder that this is not what I want to do. I don't want to work for somebody else. I would love to work with other people, yes. But working with somebody else, working for somebody else is not what I want to do. It's just not my ideal thing, right? I don't like it. Especially when the other people are, you know, racist and sexist and just ignorant, you know what I mean? Can be very ignorant at times. I do not like to. I do not like to be around that. Right. Being in my workplace, I have unlocked a little gift within myself that I've always had, and it is to observe and not absorb things. Right? When I would hear that, I'd be like, oh wow, that doesn't make any sense, right? Because you always absorb everything because you're in that environment. Yeah, right, okay. You were in an environment, you were feeling everything, yes. But there's a way where you can be in that environment, observe, and not take on the other person's emotions as your own, right? And this is possible because I've done it before. So it can feel very overbearing when you are surrounded by individuals that are still finding themselves, you know, like still have insecurities that are projecting a lot of just shit, you know, just projecting all their insecurities outwards, and that's why they talk shit about people, okay? And then you're surrounded by it, you observe, and you feel a lot, right? I don't exactly know everything, but I am going through this currently, and this is what I'm seeing with myself, with people, with individuals, and I get very upset at times. I don't get upset because I take what they are saying personal to myself, but I get upset because some people think like this, where it's like so morally fucked up, you know what I mean? Where it's like, damn, you have a mother and you are talking about this, you're talking like this to women. Like, this is crazy that you even think like this. And to me, it's like, wow, that's a lot of people think like this. A lot of men can think like this. And it's uneasy. And I do understand that not all men are like that. Not all people are like that. Yeah. But the people that I am around right now are. And I have full power to move out of that situation, go to a different environment. That is what I'm going to do, right? But there's a reason why I was in this situation. There's a reason I put myself here. I got the job, and maybe in the beginning the job wasn't like this, but these people I am experiencing for a reason. They reflect me. You know, I may not be exactly like these people, but they have qualities that I see in myself that I do not like. And, you know, it's all about finding that balance. And I'm going to be wrong sometimes. Most of the time I'm gonna be wrong. And that's just part of growing. Making mistakes is part of growing as an individual. And being open, being vulnerable, that's part of growing. Being vulnerable even when you don't want to, you know what I mean? Your subconscious is going to want to protect you. And it is complex. It is very complex. Everything that I'm saying is really complex and also very simple at the same time. It's complex because when you are feeling it, yeah, you can see what you need to do, but being in those emotions, you can go in so many different directions. You can spiral, you can go this way, that way, everywhere. And it's fucking terrifying. And you're gonna get frustrated, you're gonna break down, you're gonna have a couple panic attacks, and that's okay. You know what I mean? It's gonna happen. And there's a lot that you're feeling, especially when you are such a forward moving person. You're gonna be feeling a lot. to stand up alone is something you may have to experience depending on your situation and your environment. And to stay strong and to stay true to yourself when there is people that are opposing you can feel very rough. But at the same time, it's like, no, I'm solid, I'm strong, this is what I believe full-heartedly, and I'm not going to back down just because people don't agree with me. And this really does depend, right? Doesn't it? But to me, when it comes to speaking up in a situation where there is unfair treatment towards women, towards people, towards energies in general, there needs to be some type of speaking up going on here. You know what I mean? There can't be a blind eye. No. Because these individuals will keep doing what they're doing. And it will become worse. Then it's leaking onto you. You know why? Because you are experiencing it. You are in that energy. You are in that environment. And because you are not saying anything, it is going to break you down very slowly. Very, very slowly. Even if you are capable of observing and not absorbing, it's going to hurt. Because what they're doing is wrong. And you know it. When you see the truth, you cannot unsee the truth. You cannot live blindly in ignorance. And maybe you can, but only for a certain amount of time until it gets to you. And then you might reach a point, a breaking point, right? And then that's when you, right? For me, I'm very close. We're close to that breaking point right now. Maybe I'm not. But I know myself. I observe before, I observe. I use my words. And then if that doesn't work, you can either get physical with the person. You could either just move physical. You can get physical, right? You can either, there's fighting, there's violence, or moving forward, moving away from the situation, right? For me, I'm always prepared to do either one. Peace is always the answer, but there cannot be peace without justice, right? And justice can be your own closure. That's justice. It doesn't have to be from a different source. It doesn't have to be from the system. Because we all know, unless you're brainwashed, that the system is corrupt and unreliable. You know what I mean? Unless you're a cop. Unless you're a vet, even then, bro, this shit is flawed as fuck. And if you don't see that, that's crazy. But whatever, live your best life. I choose to see the truth. Because I choose to see the truth can be something I don't want beneath. And, that's a lot. That's a lot to digest. You feel me? That's a lot to, right? I understand that I am not always right. I understand that what I could be feeling is a trigger for my ego. I understand that I may not be approaching things in the best way I want, best way possible. But I am trying, and I am thriving, and I am driving towards the better version of myself. You know what I mean? And even if that may take a couple mistakes, I am still moving forward. And sometimes I need to stay. Sometimes I need to move a little backwards to look at where I am. You know what I mean? And that is my own journey. That is your own journey. And that involves nobody else but yourself. You know what I mean? You are looking at yourself. You are making the changes. For me, this is my perspective, right? For me, I see it as I am looking at myself. I am making the changes. I am doing this for me and for others. And maybe at first, I was doing this just for others. But now I'm doing it for myself. And it's been a long, long time coming. Like, I've been on this journey for a very, very long time. This isn't my first lifetime as well. I chose this life 100%. And there's a reason why. When you choose what is not normal in a certain environment, you're gonna get a lot of backlash. You're gonna get a lot of stares. You're gonna get a lot of hate. But to be grounded in yourself, that is how you maneuver through everything. I've made videos about how to stay grounded or how to preserve your energy, how to look at things from a different perspective, and I've said things in my videos about this, what I'm talking about. It takes time. It does. And that's okay. And you can cry, okay? That's fine too. I feel like crying right now. You know? I feel like crying because I feel very frustrated right now. And that's okay to feel frustration. To use that energy and transmute it into something you love. That's alchemy. This pain that you are feeling is energy. It's valid, it's beautiful, and it deserves to be expressed. Yeah. These are the things I want to talk about. I want to talk about how I want to stop judging people, to just keep to myself more again, because what I realized is that once I started opening up, I opened up in a way where which is not bad, but I was a little off balance, right? Because I'm experiencing a new feeling or re-experiencing a feeling. And I love speaking my mind, but sometimes there are times where you speak it down, you know, and I have seen myself and I do not like it. Do not like it, but I know why it's coming up. Because I do it. And because I do it and I don't like it, part of me doesn't want to come to terms with that. But no, I have enough, like, you know, like, awareness in myself where I'm like, no, what you need to do, Indica, right? This is for me. I need to observe more, like I've always done. Before, I would observe more. And it might have been for a wrong reason. Like a subconscious reason was because I was afraid of getting hurt, right? Even though I wasn't saying that for a little afraid, you feel me? A little afraid of getting hurt. Maybe I wasn't. Maybe I was very aware. But right now, this is what I'm feeling. And it's a very little confusing time right now. It's a confusion because I know, but I don't want to move forward in it. But I do, right? Confusion. What? Pick a side, shawty. We're picking it. Okay, it's just taking a little more time. I'm tired of the bullshit, you know? I know during my journey I'm gonna make a lot of mistakes. That's okay. I'm going to maybe overly repeat myself. That's okay. I'm going to maybe overly explain myself, and that's okay. I need to say what I have to say because it's coming out for a reason right now. And I have every right to. There's a lot of thinking that needs to happen. A lot of thinking. And you're gonna experience it with me, you feel me? So here we go. Yeah, thank you for listening. I appreciate you guys with all my heart, and I understand that I am a very triggering energy, so if you do not like me, I do not care. I know I can bring up shit, I can trigger people, yes. Not my intentions, just speaking my truth. Hope everything goes well with you. But it's all love. Thank you guys.